Wolf Haven International is a globally recognized wolf sanctuary that has provided a lifetime home for over 325 displaced captive-born animals since 1982, under the mission Conserve and Protect Wolves and Their Habitat. Most leadership training is a one-and-done event that gets forgotten by Monday. Leader Workout Group is different. It's a monthly, high-impact fitness routine for your leadership skills. Leadership can be incredibly isolating. The Leader Workout Group brings together small cohorts of diverse leaders to evolve together. We provide the tools and the forum to experiment with new leadership behaviors on the job, then report back to a trusted circle for feedback and problem solving. It's where professional development meets peer support, ensuring you never have to navigate your toughest management hurdles alone.
Great.
I think it's a great program. It's very inclusive. It's very digestible because you broke it in like very intuitive pieces, I feel.
I enjoyed the course, and I mentally refer back to pieces regularly. So it definitely had a positive impact on even just me as a staff.
Awesome.
We've really enjoyed the program and the benefits that it's clearly had for some of our individuals who have participated in it, as well as our team that has had the ripple impacts from all of the learnings that the individuals have had.
Yeah.
There was a hope and an expectation that we could grow leadership capacity within the organization, and that all of those individuals had expressed interest in that and clear opportunity and capacity to participate. And so, when I came on, again, like those three folks were just raving about how much they've enjoyed the program and how much they've been getting out of it, and have already been able to apply it and apply their learnings from the program in very tangible ways in their work here at Wolf Haven.
What encouraged you or inspired you to say yes, even to say yes, because it's a big commitment?
Right. Well, I think it's two parts. One was a little bit of, responsibility. We were going through a difficult time. There was a co-managing situation happening, like I was co-manager of another person. And I feel like in some ways, due to being a small nonprofit and certain circumstances, we were put on the spot and things were not very clear, like delineation of responsibility and that kind of thing. And so we were having a lot of struggles. And one of the tools that our ED at the moment found was working with you, right? So when this opportunity came up, it was one, the responsibility to take it, right? Because we were not forced into it, but we were asked to. So it was the right thing to do. But then I was extremely curious to just gain more resources and tools on how to do my job better. Because for the majority of us working directly with caring for non-human animals, usually that part of the human relationship is not our strength. So yeah, I was excited to just learn more about how to do that manager job better.
Yeah. We were kind of reorganizing the department a little bit, and I was moving into a more leadership role, official leadership role. And a lot of like the, I guess, hard skills, I knew but didn't know, if that makes sense. Like I've been in a leader role unofficially quite a bit between scouts and work and things like that, but never actually had leadership training. And so most of it I couldn't pinpoint if you asked me to. So given the opportunity, I'm always up for learning more. Yeah. Anytime I get an opportunity to learn and expand my knowledge and tools, I'm up for it. Yeah.
Participants engaged in monthly live online classes as well as offline assignments and challenges. It's only 5 hours a month, but it builds the consistent habits and emotional intelligence needed to effectively lead teams. Leader Workout Group contains 5 pillars: the Elite Leadership Blueprint, twice monthly virtual group calls, twice monthly challenge assignments, optional monthly one-on-one coaching, and the Leader Workout Group community. The course offers 4 distinct sections, each lasting 3 months. Communicate with confidence, master leadership fundamentals, find your leadership grit, build your strengths. Everyone brought their own experience and learning desires to their groups.
What was it that made you say yes to even engaging in a 12-month program like this?
Yeah, my work takes me in many different directions, but a lot of my work in the world of wolf conservation is in pretty high tense areas, and a lot of the conflict piece and a lot of the human dimensions piece. So I was really drawn into cultivating new skills for navigating really challenging conservation issues, but also with folks who have different perspectives and more often very opposing perspectives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember that too from our time together. Mm-hmm. I've been just amazed at some of the work that you've done. And I forgot to introduce Nyota, who is also joining us for this conversation, who you met during your work in
Africa.
Which is amazing. So you brought a lot of experience already into the program.
Yes, but in a different context, but also a lot of parallels too.
Yeah. And so what were some of the things you were hoping to get out of it?
Well, again, a lot of the skill set for navigating conflict, really high tense situations.
Yeah.
But also thinking about better ways for me to take care of myself through those. So self-care practices, ways to help me remember to be able to more fluidly shift mindsets or perspectives, and also just having that sense of community to know that I was supported. And I think the approach that I am trying to take and that Wolf even takes in the world of wolf conservation management isn't the norm, right? It's really trying to be a bridge builder. And
what were some of the goals, or what were some things you were hoping to get out of the program?
A lot of it was being able to not necessarily label, but put a finger on, that's the way that ought to be done in order to get that result. Or because I hadn't had any formal training in leadership, to be able to have that and just know, okay, this is why I'm doing this, and this is why this works. I'm a logical thinker, and so knowing the why behind what I'm doing is a big deal. And I knew what I did, why it worked, but that's not enough why for me. Why does it work? What's the purpose of what I'm doing?
Right.
That was kind of a big piece of what I was hoping to get out of it. And I think I did. I know I did.
Yeah.
And some of it was taking the strategies I already did and giving them purpose.
Yes, I was trying to understand where to focus. I would say where to focus my my efforts, probably, in how to be a better manager, or how I learned it with you, how to be a better coach to my team. Because when we're so busy, not only we're managers, right? Or I was manager at the time and I was sanctuary director, but we also participate in the operations every day. And so when your resources are so limited, I wanted to learn where to focus that energy and where were the changes I could make that could be more impactful. For me enjoying my job as a manager better, and also so that my team could be more efficient, could be happier, everything worked out more smoothly.
This course utilizes Clifton Strengths 34, an assessment developed by Don Clifton and Gallup. Rather than focusing on fixing weaknesses, the tool is designed to identify and rank an individual's natural patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving to maximize their potential.
What were some of the things that stood out for you for that actual experience?
The very first one, and I share it with the rest of the staff as well because it was so impactful, is that you opened our first session with establishing an environment of a commitment to respect and trust and kind of like kindness amongst the cohort. And I had never had that been exposed to me in a professional environment, right? Like I have experience with other like meditation groups and nonviolent communication and that kind of thing, and that's very common to talk about like ethical relating, ethical communication, respect. But usually in a work environment, that's just like brush over, and this was a foundation, right? It was like this is where we start, and we have to be respectful to each other, and so that was very impactful from the get-go, and I have been able to kind of incorporate that in our lives here in the department and in the organization. But beyond that, I think one, how pragmatic your program was. It was just not a bunch of concepts, but we were always, grounding it into a real life problem, and we had homework that was concise and specific to an application in our regular jobs. But it was very helpful to learn a lot about like how to be more intentional with meetings, with communication. Those aspects were very life changing for me.
Oh, that's Are there any changes that you can identify that maybe you're doing things differently?
Yes. And I think a big one has been, we call it here, interdepartmental connections or interdepartmental savvy. And through being better organized now with my awesome new process management skills, I've been able to take some of these more nuanced concepts of the work that I'm dealing with and put together things that other staff can use to really understand the core of what we're trying to do through example, this Wolfwise community program. And so being better organized in that way and having that skill set has helped deepen my relationships with other staff because it's brought them in, it's engaged them more, and it's definitely changed my relationship with Jeff. I think you can see, that I'm putting in effort to try to get better organized, which is making things like grant writing and annual reports and board reports so much easier. And even though in my mind, I know it'll do those things, I was still like, I don't want to do it. But now, like really seeing it in practice, like, oh yeah, now it takes me 30 minutes to write this report, whereas it would take me a whole day to do it before. And so I think Jeff can see the value it's bringing to the conservation programs, just having all of that stuff, because there's so much stuff. And so to have it organized in a way that's not just in my head, but that can be utilized by him, by other staff, definitely has helped.
Well, intention, right?
Like the carefronting versus confronting, that has come up. Oh my gosh. In the last 10 months, that has come up from my team. Amazing. So many times. And it's my team versus others. It's not within. We have conflict, but like I said, they trust each other and trust me enough. We just have it out and move on. But going from my team and stopping my team's frustrations from going outside of that as frustrations, that has come into play a lot just in the last 10 months.
I didn't know I was going to learn so much about myself, just like processes of how we perceive the world and how we relate to others. And then maybe because I have a very empathic brain, starting to see those patterns in my coworkers as well and co-leaders. So that was a very interesting surprise and gave me a lot of expanded tools to know how to be better communicator or work better with my colleagues. And I guess the other part also was to learn the aspects of leadership that can be harder for one, like the areas of growth or opportunity or weaknesses or those, and how not to take them so, I guess, dramatically. Because a lot of programs I've seen in the past, maybe they haven't been so involved like as yours, but they kind of put in very much into like the good and the bad, right? And I guess that's hard because then one takes it over and it's like, oh, I'm really bad at this or this that. And so yeah, just seeing those areas where, well, maybe this is just not my forte, and that's okay. And even though I can find ways to work with it or around it or improve it, like I can really focus on what I do well and how to benefit my team and the organization with that.
How have you noticed those changes maybe impacting other groups or individuals on the team?
Yeah, and not just our team, but I serve on the Wolf Advisory Group for the state, and so that group is working with stakeholders that represent livestock producers and hunters and wolf advocates, and we tackle some pretty challenging stuff. I mean, this is all trying to bring those diverse perspectives together to help guide wolf recovery management in the state. And you can imagine having that many diverse perspectives and personalities, in the room is challenging. And so, one of the first skill sets that we learned was listening and just being able to really listen. And what does that mean? And cultivating that sense of becoming someone who people feel safe around. And I've really seen that shine in the WAG, because I know that there are now, through our conversations, so much that's shared with producers, sensitive things and personal things. And this is a dialogue between a livestock producer who's really struggling with wolves, who's experienced a lot of conflict with wolves killing their cattle and is really frustrated with, the way they're being managed, the department, wolf advocates, and yet they're able to sit down and have a really deep, respectful, meaningful dialogue with a wolf advocate. And then, having a producer invite Wolf Haven out to their annual celebration to table at their event, or having a producer come to Wolf Haven and help us build enrichment for wolves. I mean, that to me is amazing. And so much of that comes from the relationships that we've built, and those relationships were able to be built because of the skill sets from this course. Wow. So I think that's pretty powerful stuff.
Thing that you remember that you particularly enjoyed?
I know it's gonna sound weird, but the homework. I think it's the logical side of me that, like, okay, I'm learning that. What am I gonna do with it?
Yeah.
And to be able to turn around and implement it, even in an example. Some of the worksheets were the homework, and some of it was conversations was a homework, and being able to take it right away and put it into even a draft version of whatever the thing is, that did a lot for me. And I'm not one for busy work, and that definitely was not busy work. Depending on the topic and stuff, sometimes I got more out of that than the class, than the conversation piece.
And again, it's a commitment of time, but the results from it and the way that it has really reshaped our organization, and we're all doing different things, right? We're all involved in so many different things that sometimes it is hard to come together, but this has been kind of one of those bridges that allows us to come together as a collective team. And so not only are you giving individuals the skill set of all of these elements, but it's really uniting a whole team effort. And that is like, man, you're almost unstoppable when you can get that level. And I haven't seen that really in any other leadership. But the main thing is that so many of these leadership programs, because we hear a lot about them in various forms in the community, and not that they're just one-offs, but they're typically like a one-day event. And how much, like, even if it's amazing, how much does that stick? And so there really is, I think, a powerful piece in the depth that we go and over the course of time.
So what advice would you give to somebody else maybe trying to enter the program?
Well, I would say it has so much juice. It's a very, very, very juicy fruit. And like, I would say, like, get as much as you can, because, I know that we're all very busy and our time is limited and resources, but this has ripple effects not only in your everyday work and your professional career, but you don't know how much you're impacting everyone in your team, and they bring that to their future teams and even their personal lives and our personal lives and then the organization. So I think there's so much there to be just working with and maintaining and exploring. And also we are changing beings, right? So I'm not the same one I was 3 years ago. So another recommendation is that revisit your program, your notes, in 2 years, in 3 years, right? Don't let it just die in the past like something you did before. Like, you're not the same person. You may work with different people. You may have changed. The challenges in front of you are different. So you may be able to gain even more and different things than you had years before.
During our visit to Wolf Haven, we were able to see their teams give leadership presentations on aspects from the course that they have built policies on and returned to over and over. This type of retention allows Wolf Haven's leadership team to continue to benefit from a program they completed nearly 2 years ago.
And this might be a harder question, but was there anything unexpected of value that popped up for you, or any memories or recollections?
In the management piece of things, or in the class itself?
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in learning from peers. And so being able to have that second half of our meeting every month be somebody's struggle, somebody's problem that came up, and then being able to talk it out. That's huge. That was huge. And knowing that wasn't unexpected, but having that in that piece, having that as an integral part of the class, that was pretty impactful for me.
For times at which I was able, in my one-on-ones with them, to talk about specifically the tools that they learned from participation in your program that they were actively applying in their work. So I got to see that very clearly, and then that ended up getting kind of baked into our ongoing planning efforts within each person's department. I guess that's another important aspect. We've had 5 individuals from the organization participate in Leader Workout Group, and all of them are on the Wolf Haven leadership team. So everyone here is a leader in one way or another. There's so many different responsibilities that we all have, and everyone wears different leadership hats. But those folks who are on the leadership team especially are recognized to be in important positions of leadership and influence in this organization.
Thank you, Wolf Haven, for participating in Leader Workout Group and sharing your experience.